This tutorial will show you how to create a blog in Blogger. The first thing you need to do is go to www.blogger.com. Next, sign in using your Google account's username and password. Now that we're in Blogger, if you have other blogs, you'll see a list of those blogs. If you don't, in order to create a blog, you click on the New Blog button on the left-hand side of the page. The next thing we're going to do is give your blog a title. Next, we need to come up with your blog's URL or address. I usually try to keep this simple. And many times when you put in the address, you'll get this message, sorry, this blog address is not available, which means you need to add something to the address to make it unique. Once it says this blog address is available, I can go on to the next step, which is choosing a template for the blog. When you found the template that you want, you can go ahead and click on it and create blog. Once I've created my blog, it will show up in my blogs list. And before we get started with our blog, we need to change a few settings. So the arrow that's between View Blog and Create New Post button is where we get to the Settings menu. Click on the arrow, go to Settings. And here we're going to change several things. Under Language and Formatting on the left-hand side of the page, we go to Formatting and Time Zone. Choose a time zone of your choice. The next options are just based on preference, so the date header, if you'd like that to show up in a different format, you can change that, or the timestamp format, or the comment timestamp format. When people leave comments, you can change how that looks by choosing different options here. When I'm finished here, I go Save Settings. When you set up a blog in Blogger, it automatically has a setting that when people leave comments, they have to prove they're not a robot. In order to turn the setting off, I'm going to go to Post and Comments. Where it says Show Word Verification, you choose the option No. And up above, who can comment, you can choose who you want to be able to comment in your blog. In this case, I'm going to choose anyone, but you choose the preference of your choice. When I'm finished with that, we're going to go to Save Settings. Finally, to get the basics down before we start looking at adding content to our blog, I'm going to go to the Layout button. The Layout button brings me to the design view of my blog. Here's where I can add or take away content of my blog. All the little boxes you see are called gadgets. In order to edit the content of these gadgets or remove gadgets, I can go to the Edit menu. And here I can change the configuration of the gadgets if I want, or I can remove by clicking on the Remove button. If I'd like to add a gadget, I can click on the Add a Gadget link. This brings me to a list of a ton of gadgets I can use for my website. You can play around with these as you wish. For our purposes, we're going to add one gadget, and it's toward the bottom of the list, and it's called Labels. In order to add the gadget, I click on the plus menu, and here I can change the configuration if I'd like. In this case, I'm going to leave it and click Save. And once I click Save, you'll see the Labels gadget has been added to my gadget list on the right hand side of my blog. When what Labels do is enables us to categorize the content or categorize our posts. So if I'm a student, I can label my posts based on subject or topic To give you an idea of what labels look like, here's an example of a blog, and the label gadget or section is on the top. And as you can see, if I were a student, I could label my work from each subject if I had an e-portfolio, or within a class I could label it based on the topic of my work for that specific class. When I'm finished adding my labels, I can go and save arrangement. And finally, to be able to view my blog as other people will see it, I can click on the View Blog button on the top. This will bring me to my blog as other people see it. On the top in the address bar, this is the address or URL of my blog. So if I want other people to have this, I can copy this and link and send it to them. On the right hand side are where the gadgets are, and of course we haven't added or edited any content, so there's not much showing up now, but once you start, the content of these gadgets will start appearing.